Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dogs Down South. I'm your host, Ted Turner, with my man Rich Man and Fish. What's up, boys? How's it going?
What's
Good.
up, man? Going good, good.
Another night of Dogs Down South, and we are wrapping up our SEC Media Day / SEC Summer Preview for the month of July, and then August will get us into fall camp, and we'll really get to discussing kind of keeping our eye on the prize and keeping our eye on what's Georgia doing and what's starting to happen as far as getting into our first game against Marshall. But before we do that, how is Richmond? How's the weather in your area up there? What's going on up there in North Georgia?
Dude, it's hot and humid. It's not as
I
bad
heard.
as South Georgia, but dude, I hate it.
Oh yeah, we had triple digits yesterday, and today, and the day before. We hit 110 yesterday. I think it was 106 today.
Wow.
Wow. I heard somebody tell
Better
me the
you
other
than
day
me.
they're gonna have to
Savannah.
sell a kid or grab a third job to pay just the power bill, bro.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
oh yeah, yep.
Fish.
ACs are earning their paychecks.
So there's not a huge difference between pretty much North Georgia and kind of in that southwest,
Well,
southeast.
I think it was bouncing around 90 today up here, but it was just humid.
Yeah, super
It's
human.
nasty. Dude,
Yeah.
it's just nasty.
Yep.
Sounds like a little bit of an improvement from 2 days ago. Then maybe you got some rain.
We
A
did
little.
get
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, look, we are going to wrap up our SEC summer preview tonight, and we are going to hit some hot topics. I have a ton of material. We got some videos. We got some topics. I got some TikTok content. First off, if you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook, welcome in. Also, we're live right now on TikTok, so welcome in over on TikTok. If you are conversing with the chat through TikTok, I can see you over here. But we're also we've posted a lot of these shorts from some of these last few podcasts where these guys have hung out with me. And man, we've had a lot of feedback from some of these. So I'd love towards the end to read some of these, and we'll answer some of the questions after some of the reels that some of these guys may or may not have seen. So that'll be interesting. And then we're going to have a little fun, do a little buy or sell around the SEC as we close it down tonight. But we're going to kick it off with a good old fashioned take on Texas. First off, guys, I'm going to go to each one of you guys to give me a little bit on what you're thinking, man. Is it not just crazy how Texas has entered into year 2 of the SEC and they have not done much at all? I mean, really haven't done much at all as far as big wins. Schedule has been lacking, and every SEC rider and riders all around the country this year just have Texas and Arch Manning. They just hung the moon, man. Like, Rich Man, let me go to you first because I know you guys want some elongated takes on this, but talk to me about Texas right now and what you're thinking.
Man, I hate Texas more every day. It is. I mean, I just at first I was kind of like, oh, it's cool. They're coming into our conference, but it just they hadn't done anything, but they've been anointed. All they need now is a crown, and they don't have one. So I'm over it.
What exactly? Like, are you more over the just overall Texas hype, the Arch Manning hype, the Steve Sarkisian, this NIL stuff? Like, is there a particular? Or is just everything?
I tell you what gets me is it's probably more the media, the love, because I mean they haven't accomplished anything, and
Not yet.
it just drives me nuts, and their fan base is delusional. So
Yeah.
Until they win something, man, I got nothing for them. And I mean, they're going to have to win an SEC or a championship, and then I'll be tipping my hat. But until then, shut up and play ball.
Fish, same question, man. Like, we have a group chat, obviously, and we talk a little bit about the SEC. And, this type of year, we're talking a lot about all teams. But, I mean, we're going to get into some real hardcore Texas stuff here because I think it's warranted coming from Dog fans. But tell me a little bit about your perspective and your take on Texas just from as they're entered into the SEC. And what's your gripes, man? Like, here's your chance, right?
Well, I'm all for the conference being tougher as a whole, and I think Texas and Oklahoma are two really good, solid additions, to the overall conference strength. I really do. I like Sark. I think he's kind of a crybaby, but I kind of like him. I think he's a good coach, good offensive mind, but yeah, the media is what's turning them into Alabama 2.0. Like, they're the team that everyone's going to love to hate. They hitch their wagon to Texas this year.
Right.
Every year they have a team that they're just in favor of and that they hype and they push. Like last year it was Ohio State, it seemed like, ESPN, Big Ten, or Penn State even. But this year it's all Texas. They're all on Texas. And that's all I've heard for the past 2 weeks. It's just Texas, Texas, Texas. And it could be warranted, but they got lots of money to spend, but my big deal is Arch Manning and where all his hype's coming from. It's got to be just because of his last name, because the man hasn't done anything.
Right.
He any real quality, like, game time he's seen, he looks shell shocked. When, like, against us, like, where was he? He came in and went right back out, and he just looked shook on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like, what have I gotten myself into, kind of a thing.
Right.
And I mean, the only games that were any good that he played were against jabroni little teams, so I just don't get it. I'm not buying it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard from Rusty Manziel, who I follow from On3 and Dogs HQ. He had an interview with Cousin Mike and Cousin Shane and at the SEC podcast. And, Rusty Manziel had a good point. He said, when Arch came in against Georgia, he looked a little shook. He did not look like the Arch Manning that I think a lot of these, media outlets are looking at what Sark looked like against mop-up duty when he comes in and it's a guaranteed run play or it hits for a big play, 1 out of the 5 that he's in there. And, I mean, it could be. I mean, he's a Manning. I don't know, man. Like, Sark says he likes his roster, but, I mean, a lot of people are high on Arch Manning and they're high on Texas this year. And, my big thing with Texas, and adding to what you guys both said, is my biggest thing with Texas has nothing to do with, I don't mind the hype around Texas. I don't mind it at all, because personally, and I know this is going to probably, a lot of these files are going to go out amongst all channels of TikTok and YouTube, and who knows where it will land and what comment will hop on top of it. I'm ready for it, because this is not what this podcast is about. But I will tell you that we have a right for an opinion, because everybody else has the right, but we're just trying to give a professional opinion about this. But what I don't like about Texas is that they haven't won a big game yet, in my opinion. They haven't won anything big to be. They had the opportunity to beat Georgia at home last year, couldn't do it. Georgia's defense was incredibly dominant. They had the opportunity to beat them in the SEC championship on a neutral playing field last year, couldn't get the job done. A little bit closer of a ball game. Backup quarterback comes in and seals the deal against you, and then they don't go. I mean, you would think, oh, Quinn Ewers, he's got a $4 million, $5 million NIL deal to come, $6 million to come back and play another year, which might be more than he's making right now, but doesn't come back. And now it's the Arch Manning show. But my biggest thing about Texas right now is NIL. In my opinion, Steve Sarkisian is full of it. I think that Texas is a ton of lies. I think that they are out there and they are trying to buy the best roster they can. And I just think that Ohio State spent $30 million last year, and I'm thinking that I'm thinking that Texas might get to 40 this year. because these deals, they're grateful that Arch Manning came in at a time he did, because a lot of his dollars are on NIL right now. They're on like literally, sponsors and partnerships. I mean, he's probably pulling in anywhere from maybe $5 to $6 million worth of deals and incentives. But some of these guys are getting, especially these freshmen, they're getting straight money. Bryce Underwood at Michigan's getting straight money from the university.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Michigan, they're going to have to play Bryce Underwood really, really quick, because other than that, like, how are they going to get what the $3 million that they're giving him? And then next thing you know, you get him the second year, they've given him $6 million. They still haven't gotten anything out of him. And then next thing you know, finally, he plays his junior year, and now we've paid him $12 million, and he's finally something that's worth something to the university. And I think that's what Kirby was talking about at media days. He's like, there's no fast tracking development. There's like, why are we giving these guys $3 million as freshmen when we don't even know if they're going to be able to add anything to productivity on the roster? So I think I have a good clip that will feed into this that we can all kind of talk about. So let's get to it. I'm gonna put Sark over here on the screen. Let's hear what Steve Sarkisian says that their motto is behind NIL. Let's pick this up. Okay, so I'm gonna play that video, but I'm gonna play this right behind it, guys. This is a video that surfaced about how Texas recruits in the NIL era, and I don't know if you see this. This is Lamborghinis stacked up here as your entrance to let me see. Am I sharing this real quick? I'm probably not sharing it, am I? I don't think I was. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me replay this. I think we heard it. Did you guys hear that? Were you guys hearing Sark's video?
No.
I think it was because I was not sharing it. So let's for the listeners, let me do this correct. So let's do a take 2 on this, and let me actually share the screen this time. Here we go. Sarkisian. Here we go. Now we got
that may hurt us on
Here's
some
Sarkisian.
kids, but if a kid is coming to Texas for that reason, we don't want them anyway. We want kids that want to be at the University of Texas because of the school, the coaches, the team, the culture, all those things that go into it. And oh, by the way, you can get publicity rights or revenue share, so on and so forth. If you're coming for the other reason, he's probably going to be the guy in 18 months that's back in the portal going somewhere else where they're going to offer him more money, because I can't offer every player the most money that he might get offered from another school. It just doesn't work like that anymore.
Perfect. Okay, now let me play this video. So here, now you guys can see this. Here is this is the entrance to, this is recruits. I don't know if you can see this, but they're on campus for a recruiting visit. Man, we got black Lamborghinis, we got white Lamborghinis, we got Texas orange.
There you go.
I think it's going to flash and show the hallway where they have all of the people waiting for the people to walk in for the visit. There's the Longhorn entrance. Recruits walking in. There's more Lamborghinis. Got Jeeps over there. I don't know. That's Mercedes over there. A lot of Lambos, man. We got people taking pictures of pictures. Here we go, right here. We got cheerleaders. Wild, right? Man, it's crazy. Caleb Downs there. Man. I mean, guys, let's talk about this. So I personally think that Texas, you look at Tyler Atkinson, you look at, I don't know if you guys saw Derek Cooper, he committed, 5-star running back, committed this weekend to Texas. And then J.J. Johnson flips with Tyler Atkinson. That's money. That's money and
all it
possible
is.
playing time right there, right? Because I'm hearing, and I put this thing out about Tyler Atkinson and a clip on TikTok, and man, so many people, Texas people, jumped in there and they're like, "We're developing linebackers, we're doing this and we're doing that," and I get it, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that right now, Texas is buying players. They're I know everybody's paying players, but they are buying players. They're dipping into Georgia and they're saying that they're talking about NIL. You're right, they're talking about at the end. They're talking about at the end of recruitment after they've seen everything everybody's offered. And then they go, I'm gonna be the highest bidder. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. It's just it's legal, but that doesn't make it right. You know, like, there's no rules for a lot of this. It's a lot of I mean, there's no way there's nothing you can say or do to stop it. Like, it's just happening. They got all the money, and this is what people have been talking about, like the problem with this NIL, which it's all like, again, all for players getting paid. Of course, that's great. They deserve it. But this is just outrageous.
It's comical. It's comical.
Yeah. And then for him to sit there, because he went after Kirby, after Kirby. So he heard what Kirby said, and he went out there and said the exact same thing because it sounds good,
right?
But we see, like, we see what's actually happening. Like, there's no hiding it. He can say, it just makes him look stupid to go up there and say that stuff and then live his life a different way,
right?
Like, it just makes him look stupid. It's not a good look for him.
Show
Rich
me
man,
the money.
I feel like you're stewing, Rich man. Talk to me.
Dude, it's comical. It really is. I mean, I think here's what I think. I think Kirby's thinks that he's found something. I think he's found the magic formula, and we'll see. We'll see. But like I said last week, the thing is, these kids that are motivated by money, are they motivated solely by money, and are they distracted by the money? They still got to coach these kids and get them to play ball on the field on Saturday. So,
right.
I just, dude, I'm 60 years old. I managed a lot of people, and I never managed anybody with that kind of money. And I managed kids with a lot of distractions, lots of distractions, and they didn't have that kind of money.
Right.
So, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if the football gods are going to smile on Texas. They may not like this mess.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby hops in. So let's look at let's see what I mean. A lot of people are maybe, I don't know what your take on this, but Kirby hopped in with this. I'll let you hear what Kirby had to say about his part in media days.
Let's don't talk about the DBs that are above.
Before we get this started, they ask him, what is his take on NIL? How does he look at NIL? And what does he want for his, what does he want for NIL to be about and his program and how he judges and reflects and goes after players?
Of the line. The line is, are they good enough to play winning football at Georgia? There's thousands. Let's just get the ones that care, the ones that are not transactional, that are relationship built. They want relationships. They want to be coached. They want to be pushed. And yeah, they're going to get paid. No coach is going to stand up and say they don't want players to get paid. We want them to get paid. I am completely comfortable with that. What I want is them want to get paid and that not change how they go about their business. That not change if they're sensitive to being demanded excellence of. And it's so ironic to me that you meet a parent and they're like, Coach, I really want my son to play where he's pushed and demanded of, and he gets coached each and every day the hard way, because I honestly don't think he can make it without that. I mean, we all needed it.
So big difference, right? So what catches you about that, Fish?
I mean, that's the way it should be. Those are the players I want too, but a lot of people, like, he's got to find the good ones. He's got to have, like Rich Man was saying, the formula for success to navigate this and still be able to, give the players, that come to Georgia, to pay them because they want to get paid, but for it not to change the way they do business, that's going to be rare. Like, he's looking for diamonds in the rough. And that's good because those are going to be the ones that are easier to coach. You know what I mean?
But will this be could this be the year that this is like that Kirby overthrows NIL with this right here? Because a lot of people are going to go back to that video if Georgia wins the national championship this year, and they're going to go, did it matter that Texas spent $40 million? Did it matter that they lined up Lambos? Did it matter that, could this be the year that trumps that? Now, I understand it's fairy tales sometimes to sit there and go, well, that could be this year, but inevitably at the end of the day, some of these kids are looking at these dollar signs and they're going, maybe I don't really need a college story where I was a hero at, the University of Georgia to go and play for the Tennessee Titans and make, I don't know, $30-40 million. I don't know. But I will tell you that we rally behind that, but 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, they may. But Kirby seems to think that he has those players this year. What do you think about that?
When recruits walk up to the Butts Mayer building, they don't see Lambos. They see Gunnar Stockton's F-100, 1984 F-100 sitting out there looking rough. That's what they see.
Yeah.
That's Georgia.
Yeah. Rich Man, do you think, here's the question. Do you think that Kirby can flip the tables on that? Because this is a Nick Saban type approach to this right here, right? He's putting his foot down.
I think this is what we've been talking about since last year. And I think that I hope, or I sense that he seems to have figured something out with this. And here's something else that popped up today. Georgia has more blue chips on this 25 team than they've ever had before. Mm-hmm. So if he's got more blue chips than he's ever carried on a team before, and they're coached and they want it, this could be a very interesting year.
I agree. I totally agree. Saying all that, let's and this will get us through our video phase, but we talked about Gunnar. Let's just look at, dude, I could watch this guy's interview video over and over and over. But let's look at Gunnar Stockton. Let's get a piece of what he shared with the media during his interview.
I'll talk about it as a guy that's been in the system now for quite some time, just the progression you've seen yourself year to year and just kind of how you feel like you've improved going into the season. Just as far as your overall progression, how you feel like you've perfected the different part of your game.
Yeah, I think just the whole season always working on something and trying to get better at it. And I can always get better at the little things. And for me, it's been a bunch of footwork stuff and just trying to clean it up and having a set, creating good habits is the biggest thing for me.
Guys, all right. Listen.
Look at that face.
Listen.
That's happy dude.
There's a dichotomy with him, man. He's got that all heck kind of good old boy attitude. But if you look at his eyes, man, he's got eyes like a snake, like he's ready to strike. I don't think people realize what they're getting with him, because he puts you at ease. He puts you at ease. You think, there's nothing here.
It's incredible to see, man. And I don't want to fill a lot of this podcast tonight up with this, but coincidentally, within the last today, actually, of Carson Beck and his ACC Media Days preview, which, if I could add that, it makes me appreciate the SEC a lot more, because I don't know what kind of podunk ACC Media Days thing was going on, but it was funny because it was a weird interaction at the beginning, because he had on this black / like dark hunter green suit on, and they asked him, they said, "Oh wow, like, is that you bought that suit just for the media days?" And he actually said no. He said, this is a suit I've had. He said, I actually wore this for some occasions at Georgia last year. And the guy goes, well, you got to do what you got to do. And to me, that was like a little bit of a jab to go like, bro, they're paying you like $5 million this year in NIL. And like typical guy would go out, grab him a suit or whatnot. Now, am I saying Carson Beck has changed his persona? I don't think so, because the first thing he talked about is what's the biggest difference in Georgia and Miami. And he talked about the fact that Georgia's a college town, that Miami is a big city. And then he liked Miami better. Now, what did that tell you? It just tells you that the hype.
Dude, I said that last year, man.
Yeah.
He's a city slicker.
Yeah. And he talked about, of course, that he was looking forward to being coached by Mario Cristobal and the staff. I'm here to tell you guys, and I'm hoping as we go through these clips and they spit these clips out, I hope this clip is in there. Mario Cristobal doesn't hold a candle to Kirby Smart. Mario Cristobal is still trying to figure out life in Miami, right?
Let's not
Ain't nobody
forget,
talking about Mario Cristobal. Go ahead, Fish.
let's not forget the coaching blunder back in Georgia Tech a couple years ago when he just let the clock run out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he had timeouts. The man
Yeah.
just let the clock run out. Forgot he had a timeout. That's the same dude that Carson Beck wants to go get coached by.
Yeah. Yeah, this
that's
is a
brilliant.
complete jab. I mean, he mentioned the coaching staff at Miami. He mentioned Mario Cristobal, and I'm like, brother, ain't
He also
nobody
mentioned all the
trying to go
weapons
play
around
for
him.
Miami, right? I mean, guys, I don't have this game yet, but let's just go back to NCAA 25. Let's even go this year. Who's going in there going, man, I cannot wait to pick Miami and play with Carson Beck on NCAA college football 26, other than Carson Beck possibly. Who's
He's
getting the
probably
most
the only
gameplay out of Miami?
Nobody.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Once again, another coach just trying to buy hope. They're just trying to buy hope, man. And it's wild. It's wild. And it's crazy. But to reflect back to Gunner, I will be honest with you. I have said this, and I'm hopping on this train, and I'm riding it, and I'm going to show you why in this next clip. I'm hopping on this train. Stetson Bennett, right? Stetson Bennett goes, and he wins the national championship. Now, granted, Gunner didn't win a national championship last year, but Gunner didn't have the opportunity last year. He was the backup last year. He came in, and in my opinion, when you go back to what he did in the Texas game, in the SEC championship, and when he was called to play Notre Dame, him being a backup quarterback, having to come in and be the guy on top of a terrorist attack, on top of Kirby Smart's dad passing, and didn't even know if Kirby would get a call at halftime going, hey, your dad's gone. I'm not making excuses. We got whooped in a lot of areas against Notre Dame, but I am saying a fair opportunity for Gunner to come in with a lot of weapons this year that we're going to get ready and preview. We're going to have a really fun time previewing all areas of Georgia in August leading up to our first game. But guys, Stetson Bennett came in and he was severely doubted. Very much so like Gunner Stockton's doubted right now.
Man.
Gunner's not picked in the first 8-9 quarterbacks in the SEC power rankings. You got Paul Feinbaum, who doesn't believe in Gunner. Fish, were you gonna say something?
No, I was saying I was one of those Stetson haters.
Yeah.
Big time.
I mean-
in his first full season starting.
I was at the South Carolina game, me and my wife, when Stetson entered the game, and I went, what are we doing? I went, what are we doing?
That's fun.
Right? So, but here's the thing. I'm going to show a clip that I didn't tell either of you I was going to show. And this is why I am starting this riffraff, man, because I'm like, Stetson goes, wins a national championship, right? Let me play this clip for you that I have not shown you guys. This is a clip the next year on Paul Feinbaum. The next year on Paul Feinbaum. Check this out.
You know why I feel nervous. I feel nervous because of what we're going to try back out under center again, Paul.
So I wanted to ask you, because your people, the Georgia Bulldog fans, feel disrespected. They're number 3 in the country. Nobody's really thinking they're going to win it again. They don't understand why. They have whatever they have over there. Do you think that just comes with being a dog?
So, no, okay. It's like, I love my people, but like, we need to stop. You don't make history for having the most draft picks ever and not think there's going to be some attrition. You lost 15 players. You are returning only 18% of the production on your historic defense. You're talking about a defense that only allowed 10 points a game last year, which was an incredible amount of deodorant for at times, which was a funky offense. And so that is concerning to me. Like Ohio State and Alabama are returning more people. That's just the simple fact of it. I'm concerned because of Stetson Bennett, and I feel torn about it. Like I sat on this very show, Paul, a year ago. You remember this.
Okay. Before y'all hop in, guys, this was year of the repeat. Nope, this is going in before we played Oregon and whooped Oregon on national television in front of everybody. Stetson goes back and plays repeat. Did you see the number? That's all people have been talking about this year is the turnover of this roster, right? It's been turnover that hasn't been, oh, well, we got to go find it in the portal. And don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about a lot of people that portal has helped us with, but I think we went and got the right people. But check that clip out, man. Does that not sound like the media sounds right now with Gunnar Stockton? Like we're worried. What is Gunnar Stockton going to do? This guy is not Carson Beck. He's not this. Rich man, dive into that. Well, Fish, go ahead. You can go ahead first. Dive into that real quick because I pulled that clip because it reminds me a lot of Stetson.
I remember that clip because I love Feinbaum whenever he talks about Georgia, which used to not be a lot, but now it's a lot. I was just like her, man. Like I was on that boat because our defense and talent around him is why we got that first one. He didn't go out there and win the game for us. He didn't lose the game for us. He managed the game. That's what he was his first year. He didn't turn into a playmaker until year 2. That second full offseason he had as the number 1 with Todd Monken transformed him into something special.
Right.
And he went out there and he had a Heisman finalist season.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a believer after the Oregon game. I was not a believer before the Oregon game because of his performance against Bama.
I think we were kind of like her. We were all like, ooh, how's this?
I mean, because we lost a lot. A lot.
More than we lost last year.
So
more than we lost
about
last
this year.
Yeah.
Those players we lost, we're going to be replacing 7 of those with blue chips. So, everybody's talking about how much we lost, but we got blue chips coming behind them that are fixing to play ball. So
that have been developing.
Have been developed, and if they're hungry, and if they're willing to keep chopping, I'm not worried.
Yeah,
I am worried about one position group, and you know what it is.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it, man. We're going to break this entire team down because Dog fans want to hear about it, but I just liked that because I think the average is 40%. I think Kirby said 51% of the total roster is turned over. I don't think that year, if Kirby could go back and look at that, quote and look at some of those statistics, that he realize what we overcame that year from exactly what you just said, Rich, man. And that's why that video is so key for Dog fans all across the nation to understand as we get the season started, is we don't need to be scared about roster attrition sometimes the way that Georgia and Kirby think. They think we are developing 1, 2, and 3 deep. Why do you think we pass sometimes on giving Tyler Atkinson a little bit more money, Justice Terry a little bit more money, J.J. Johnson a little bit more money? Because there's somebody that wants to come to Georgia that wants to take what they're given and maybe double it, triple it, win a national championship, tell a story, get developed the right way, and go and make millions of dollars in the NFL, not as a one-trick wonder. You're living on Texas's name. You're living on Ohio State's name. Some of these players in Alabama, getting into the NFL, but some of them don't make it past that first year. So you lived off that name, that good, great name for 1 year. And then now you got statistics to put down there. You've shown no work ethic. You've shown no development. You've shown that you can't be coached, and you were a 1-year wonder. So enjoy your NIL money because it's gone, and enjoy your signing bonus because you spent it all on Lambos. And now you're selling insurance. There's nothing wrong with selling insurance. I'm just saying now you're selling insurance back in Athens.
Yeah, and you
Right
got
now
a
you're
story for
selling
10 years.
insurance. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got a story for 10
Yeah, I
years
mean,
later, like, hey, I once made millions, a couple $1 million playing
Mhm.
football for Texas, and that's where your dream stops. That's where
Yeah.
your
you go
story
back,
ends.
Yeah.
you go
Because not
look at
everybody
these,
wants to make it to the NFL anymore.
I agree.
you go look at these NFL history programs. The Hall of Fame is filled with guys that weren't the best, but
I agree.
they were willing to put in the work.
I agree.
You know, they had an indomitable spirit and they were willing to put in the work. And now they're in the Hall of Fame. And
Yeah.
and I think that's something that you really, well, I think it's going to play out. You know, some of these folks that are top guys and got to have, um, they may be the ones that just don't make it.
Right.
And it's not because of lack of talent. It's
Yeah.
it's the intangibles.
Yeah. I totally agree, man.
I mean, that's what Bennett. I mean, it was intangibles that made him. He was something, man. It was. Yeah, hell,
I
he
agree.
still got a chance in the pros. You know.
Yeah. No,
He does.
100%. 100%, man.
Set the bottle down.
As we close out, and we're going to do a little fun to close it out. We're going to do whether you buy or sell it. I'm looking forward to next week when we get into it. We're going to start picking out position groups. We're going to break down position groups. We're going to talk about our 1, 2, and 3 look and depth with Georgia. Start talking about news really built around Georgia and what's going on, getting ready for fall camp. But before we do that, I will say that just coming out of this, man, I think this year is the year of, Texas has got to prove something. Texas has to go on the road to Georgia. But outside of that, the schedule that they're given, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if they can give Texas all of this hype that they're giving them. If anything, guys, it's weird because Alabama and Georgia was not the talk of SEC media days. It was Texas and LSU. It really was. Texas and LSU, this is LSU's year. They got to do it. They got Nuss coming back. They got all this talent. They went in the portal. Defense has gotten better. Brian Kelly has to win right now. And then you got Texas and Arch Manning and Sarkisian spending $40 million on rosters and NIL and Lamborghinis, and he's sitting up here lying through his teeth about they don't talk about NIL. That's a lie. It's right there. It's right there when you see it. And that's the first video they had. They have videos in the stadium of Lamborghinis just posted up in there. And don't get me wrong, like, no offense, like, Georgia's doing some things too, but like, I just be smarter, right? Like, if you maybe there's some Lambos out there to Carson Beck, but I'll tell you one thing: we showed Carson having to go into the dealership to get his. We're just out here lining them up to players to get into and take them home with them, I guess, at Texas.
Take the keys. Yep.
Yeah. So as we close, out this session after we do this, it's one of those things this year in the SEC. This is going to be a wide open division. It's going to be a lot of competition. I think this is the year that you don't see, and I'm calling it, I don't think you see an undefeated SEC team this year. I think every team might take one, maybe two here or there. There's some tough schedules out there. Even though Georgia's got this nice home slate, it doesn't mean anything. We've showed that we can go into places and beat good teams, and I'm sure there's teams that are raring to come into Athens because we have a home win streak on the line. But I will tell you, it was a little weird not to hear Georgia and Alabama, which may be good for Georgia and Alabama because maybe we're being slept on a little bit, which we will talk about. But let's have some fun. I got about 10 buy or sell questions that you guys can hop in on, and I just thought we'd have some fun around the SEC. Let's hop right in with Alabama, though. Ty Simpson, right? We all know that Ty Simpson is probably the guy. Keelan Russell's really young, a lot of talent at Alabama. Defense is going to be really good. Ryan Grubb comes back. It may start out easy, but I want to see what you guys take, Richman and Fish. Ty Simpson will be a better quarterback and set Alabama up for more success than Jalen Milroe did at Alabama. Do you buy that, Richman, or do you sell that? I know you hadn't seen a lot of Ty Simpson, but
I'm going to sell that.
So you think Jalen Milroe probably is in a better position? I'm not going to lie to you guys. When Alabama played Georgia, I was incredibly intimidated by Jalen Milroe's legs, but I wasn't worried about Jalen Milroe beating us with his arm. So for me, like, you don't know a lot yet, but for me, and I'm gonna go to you, Fish. Like, I'm gonna sell it as well because I think Milroe scared me more against Alabama with his legs. He was an incredible athlete, and I think that if Milroe could have gotten his, maybe if he's in Ryan Grubb's offense, maybe if he gets his arm a little bit more under control as far as intermediate routes and things of that nature, maybe it would have been a bit. But the legs definitely scared me last year. It was a huge reason why Georgia went down so big at the beginning of the football game. What about you, Fish? You buy or sell? Ty Simpson, better quarterback than Milroe? I know you don't like Milroe a lot.
I don't like
It's
that
like me and
Seattle
Brian
drafted
Kelly,
him.
right?
I really don't like that Seattle drafted him because I'm a Seahawk fan on the low. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. As much as I don't like him, the man can throw the deep ball. He was set up for success in that offense,
right?
You know, especially with the receiver. What's his name? He was the young guy.
Oh, Ryan Williams.
Yeah, Ryan Williams. That's what I thought. Yeah. I mean, all they had to do, all he did, and he did it the last play of the game. That's how they won the game. He just turned around, chunked it up in the air. He ran down there and caught it. Julian Humphreys just spun around, did a little dance number. He plied a little bit. You know, he's been working on his ballet. You could tell. I wonder if he worked on that in the offseason. And just let him catch it and run into the end zone.
They asked Kirby about Julian Humphrey, by the way. He didn't have much to say about Julian.
No, deuces. See him later. He's gone. We're not going to miss him.
Let's move on. Arch Manning. This is a buy or sell. Arch Manning is only at Texas one more year. What do you think, Rich Man? Arch Manning's at Texas only one more year.
I don't buy that.
I think Arch Manning is has got a lot of developing to do. Crazily enough, I think this year's going to be a lot more challenging than people will admit to this year for Arch Manning. I think he needs this year. I think he will learn a lot this year. I think he'll go through some struggles. I think he'll go through some good times this year. But me, to be honest, I don't give Arch Manning a better opportunity than anybody else I give in the SEC right now, especially since they're quarterbacks that took every snap last year, right? But I mean, you think he's got the numbers to just go out there and bomb it this year? I mean, I guess they're guessing, they're betting on the fact that Arch Manning can develop into an NFL quarterback in 1 year. So you're saying you're buying that, or you're definitely saying that Texas is going to see Arch Manning there for another year?
I think he's there 2 more years. I like Arch. I think the kid's got humility. I think his head's in the right place. You know, I'm going to enjoy watching him. I just hope he doesn't do well against us.
Right.
But I like the kid. I really do.
Right.
And I think, and I agree. I think he's probably, and if you were to ask him, I bet he would tell you. He's like, no, I'm planning to be here a couple of years. Because I don't think he's going to rush it, man. He's been raised by the Mannings. You know, he's not going to rush it.
Right.
He knows. I mean, anybody can take a look at that. When you go into the pros as a quarterback too early, and you're forced to play too early, you don't have a good career. You know?
Right.
And he knows that.
I agree.
So I don't think he's in any hurry.
I mean, Eli was in a different era too, but you know, Eli as well. I mean, Eli was widely talked about, but he stayed at Ole Miss, and I mean, he needed every minute he could in college. I think that made him a little bit better of a quarterback. I wish quarterbacks would I wish the rule was out. You know, I know it might make NIL a little bit fuzzier than it already is, but I wish the rule was in to where you had to stay, you know? I mean, there's money in college now, right? So you might as well, take the NFL loop out. Let some of these guys develop more. It might make the NFL even a better, because now we have all this pressure, right? So the age of the NFL players is getting so much smaller and smaller. I mean, used to, it was like you could play NFL football until you were 38, 39, 40 years old. Now it's like you're 30, 31 years old, man. You need to get your years in because you're done. But I agree with you, man. I think Arch is going to need another year. I'm not saying he's not going to have a great year. I'm just saying I think he's going to hit a few more rough spots than people are going to lead on that he's going to hit this year. Next question. So Tennessee's better this year. without Nico. You look at Joey Aguilar, who's going to take over that offense. You look at a defense who lost so much at Tennessee. But we're talking about just the quarterback position here, and we're talking about that one little change, right? But a lot of people were concerned about Nico, but I just didn't see a lot of game changer type things with Nico last year. He in the bowl game, he was the playoff game, he was terrible against Ohio State. I don't think he played very well against us. Like, what do you think? You think they're going to be better without Nico?
No, I don't think so.
What's your reasoning behind that? Because I'm curious, because I would agree with that.
You got to think Nico probably would have improved this year after what he went through last year. So, it's his offense, it's his coaches, it's his team. He would improve. I would expect him to improve this year. We're starting over,
Right.
and I don't know. And plus what they lost, I think it's going to be a struggle for them.
Yeah. I think that Tennessee, and I think, let me say, I'll rephrase this. I think Tennessee will be as good as they would if Nico would have been there, because I don't know if Nico brought enough. Maybe that was the whole year 2 thing, but Nico's, in my opinion, like that was his freshman year last year. It wasn't his freshman year, but that was his coming out year last year, right?
Yeah.
If Arch Manning has that year at Texas does not make the playoffs next year, right?
Right.
Maybe with the easy schedule. I take that back, but he's not going to have Heisman type numbers. But I think Joey Aguilar, I will tell you that Josh Heupel has done a lot with a little at the quarterback position. And I've seen, as bad as Hendon Hooker was an average quarterback for me, and I thought Josh Heupel made Hendon Hooker look really, really good. I think Josh Heupel made Joe Milton look as good as he could, but Joe Milton was a little bit of a basket case as far as his arm accuracy was all over the place. And I think Nico maybe was coming around to that this year, but I think Tennessee could be as good as they were projected to be. As a matter of fact, some people have Tennessee being at the top of their game going 10-2, 9-3, and at the bottom of their game still only going like 8-4. Once again, barring a pretty decent schedule. They do play Georgia at home, but I don't know if that's going to make a lot of difference. They got Alabama at home, so we'll see how that pans out. But I agree with you to an extent, but I think Aguilar brings a fighting chance. I don't think the freshmen that they've put out there in the spring would have given them an opportunity. So Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri head football coach. Let's say he has a playoff run this season, right? I've heard some chatter about Eli, right? That he needs to use the next few years at Missouri with these lighter schedules. Missouri has had an incredibly easy SEC slate the past 3 years. But let's just say he has a playoff type run. He barely gets in, or maybe just barely doesn't, right? And let's just say Florida doesn't. Is Drinkwitz a candidate for the Florida position if Billy Napier can't do this? Because a lot of people have said that Drinkwitz is a coach that if you give him what he needs, he can get the job done. What do you think about that? I heard this take on another podcast, and I was just curious what maybe we thought about it.
Man, I don't know about that. That's an interesting thing to think about because, anybody that goes to Florida, they're going to have an opportunity at some talent, in a roster. Whether they can do something with it or not, it's been the story for quite a while.
Right.
But Drinkwitz at Florida, if I was Drinkwitz and I had a run if I had a run into the playoffs this year and Florida opportunity came up, I'd be all over that. So I think that's a probability. Yeah.
That's exactly why I love the question, is because I buy it, because Eli Drinkwitz has been at a place that, they're starting to try to spend some money, but let's just be honest, like Missouri hasn't. You look at facilities, you look at, the state of Missouri. I love Missouri, but what's getting blue chip players to continue to come out to Missouri besides a really, really, really good paycheck. I like what Drink's been able to do with the defense. You're able to get some recruiting out of Florida. They're known for their speedster wide receivers, good quarterback play coming out of Florida. If you give Drinkowitz the tools to compete in the SEC like Florida has available to them, is Drinkowitz a much better coach? Because this is a coach who the past 3 or 4 years, to some people, has been making, as we call it, chicken salad out of chicken poop. So I like this take. I buy this take.
I buy it. That's a good. I hadn't really thought about it, but I like it.
Yeah. I used to not like Eli Drinkwitz. I looked at him as a little bit of a mouse, He just kind of was sneaky mouse, and as of late, he's made some really good, he's turned some good coaches out of his tree. He's been able to get some good players up there. I mean, there's some Georgia players in that roster right now. He's had some, it's going to be another interesting season for them. Bo Prabula is going to be a huge, if he's a win, then Missouri has a schedule to do some damage this year. They have a great run game. The defense is going to be improved. If the offense can score some points, Missouri can be very tricky this year. Lenoris Sellers, okay? Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, right? So Arch Manning is, out of those three, is picked to kind of contend for the Heisman, right? Buy or sell that right now the best contender to come out of the SEC to vie for the Heisman is Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina. You buy that or you sell that? Right now it's Arch.
You don't think Nussmeier is going to be a possibility? If
No.
LSU makes a hard run, he's the one that I would kind of wonder if he might make a play at it.
I don't think LSU makes the playoff this year. I don't think Nussmeier is what he's added up to be. Since we're ending SEC previews, I'll give that take right there. I don't think that Nussmeier is. I'll go back to when Nussmeier came in against Georgia, and I love Nussmeier's arm. He's got a live arm, really live NFL arm. I don't trust Brian Kelly. I don't trust this coaching staff. I don't trust Brian Kelly to get it done.
Yeah, well,
I don't trust it.
I'm not a Brian Kelly fan at all. I agree.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Brian Kelly is a centimeter or two behind Stoops to me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, LSU's the team. They're all, them in Texas, but I have a feeling Alabama's going to take care of LSU. Alabama's stacked. They got some talent, man.
I like Alabama on defense this year. I got to see what quarterback position is going to be huge.
But we're all, like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, we all got rookie quarterbacks. And, so it's going to be interesting to see all of that. But I really feel like our quarterback, if he gets some blocking, he's going to be solid. Just from what I saw last year.
I think, me personally, the whole DJ Lagway conversation about these injuries, these snaggy injuries has not turned me off from DJ Lagway as a great player. If he's healthy right now, I'm taking him as probably my top quarterback in the SEC. It just is.
Didn't
no
they
injury.
Weren't they talking about him still having nagging injuries?
Yeah. Still has. Napier doesn't say this, but there was no great positive talk. There's no hey, DJ Lagway is good to go. He's great. It was more of a game by game, minute by minute type thing. They're sure he's going to be starting, but a lot of people are like, what happens if one wrong tweak, one wrong this, one wrong that? Florida's season and Billy Napier's season's done, and Billy Napier's done.
What injuries he got?
I don't know. They've kept it really close. I've heard a lower. They're just keeping, that terminology now. They're like lower extremity type thing. I don't know if it's knee, leg. Could be wrong about that too. See, they used upper or lower extremity. Right. I don't know if it was shoulder. I don't know if it was leg. but they're not honing in on the exact area. But DJ Lagway, to me, if I were sitting right here, and this is just me, I mean, it's just because of what I've seen, I would have DJ Lagway, if he was healthy, as the top quarterback, I think, in the SEC. I would have Lenore Sellers behind him, and then I might have Arch, but Lenore Sellers and DJ Lagway have shown me more than Arch Manning has shown me.
Yeah.
That's just me. They're exciting.
And Lagway, man, they're picking Florida. I saw somebody had picked Florida to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Lagway better be 100% healthy for that to happen, but he is definitely a concern.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Moving on. Speaking of LSU, here's a buy or sell. LSU does not make a playoff, and they fire Brian Kelly at the end of the season.
I buy that.
Buy or sell.
I buy it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't got no faith in Brian Kelly when he has the tools or when he's not. Brian Kelly had the tools at Notre Dame, and he always used to say that Notre Dame couldn't get it done because it was Notre Dame. And then you see what Notre Dame did last year with, in my opinion, some of not as good a talent as Brian Kelly had when he was at Notre Dame. I don't trust this coach. I don't trust the coaching staff. LSU to me is a fourth, maybe fifth best team in the SEC, maybe sixth, depending on how good Auburn and Oklahoma are. That's just me. Nate Frazier. Okay, here's one. This funny that I had this take on there, and then I heard on the SEC podcast, this was a hot take from cousin Mike. Nate Frazier finishes the season as the first 1,000-yard rusher since Elijah Holyfield.
I'll take that. I'll buy that.
You buy Nate Frazier gets 1,000 yards this year?
If that offensive line can block, he can get 1,000 yards. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing I would say is,
yards, if he gets 1,000 yards, Gunner's going to throw more long ball TDs than Beck ever did, and we're probably going to be prancing through the playoffs.
It's so hard to buy this one because of the way that Kirby does things, I'm excited because I planned up. Go ahead.
Nate's a back that'll rip off 15, 20, 30 yarders.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do because you're right. They're not going to give him as many. They're not going to line him up and let him run the ball 25, 30 times. But he also is a back that's capable of ripping off big yardage.
Yeah.
So in as many games as if we go all the way, how many games is that? Yeah, he definitely will have a chance to hit 1,000. So
I like
I'd love
McCray.
I'd love to see 1,000-yard runner for sure. Yes, sir.
The only thing that makes me sell this is I really like the talk of McCray from Illinois. I love what I'm hearing about this guy. I'm really waiting to see is Rod Robinson what's this turf toe look like, man? Like, is this toe unturfed? And I'm wanting to see what the hype is around Bo Walker because I listen to a lot of Rusty Manziel. I trust Rusty Manziel. He's been spot on with our recruiting. He's been spot on with a lot of things. And as we're going to get into next month leading up with what Bo Walker has looked like, what this new Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line coach has brought to the coaching staff, and what these receivers look like when we're going to be able to go 6'6" and 6'5" on the outside, Rusty Manziel has me pooping my pants, dude, and peeing my leg. So I think with all the talk about how well we could be this year, even though last year we were supposed to be this way, I think that 1,000 yards rushing out of one of these people, I think it would have to be Frazier. I buy this, but the only thing I don't buy is that we could have a ton of yards this year by 3 or 4 backs. And we haven't even gotten Cash in there, and I think Cash is going to be he's going to play a huge role in the backfield. Here's 8 and 9, and then we got 8, 9, 10. Clark Lee, Vanderbilt. If Clark Lee has a decent season at Vandy, he needs to be off to he needs to be off to the highest bidder. Buy or sell.
I buy that.
Same. I think Clark Lee is an incredible coach. I think he has done things at Vanderbilt that no one else has been able to do. I think Portal helped him a lot. I think Diego Pavia saying yes to staying around as long as he has helped. But if Clark Lee has a decent season and somebody comes calling, it would be in his best interest probably to say fair riddance to Vanderbilt. I buy this. I think if he has, a 7-5, even a 7-5, 8-4 type year, and somebody comes calling, I think Clark Lee would be a great addition. Even if somebody maybe came calling to say, hey, let's coach defense for, I don't know, Ohio State, Oregon, somewhere. I mean, maybe even go, because I think too that you've done all you can do at Vandy. I don't know what he might have, as they call in the hen house, to make it any better. Zachariah Branch. Zachariah Branch has 1,000 yards receiving for the University of Georgia this year. Buy or sell?
Ooh. Oh man!
I tell you what, I want him to do is have 1,000 yards receiving.
That's a hard one because I'm going to sell because until I hadn't seen 1,000-yard receiver. Was AJ Green the last one? I don't know.
AJ Green was the last 1,000-yard receiver at Georgia.
And
AJ Green went on to the NFL to score a heck of a lot of touchdowns.
And when the Kirby moves him around so much, of course, you know what? If his hands are glue and he's got the magic to get open and get separation, possibility.
I want this to happen, but I got a feeling if this happens, then we don't do what I think in order for us to win a national championship, what we need to do this year, and that's run the ball and stop the run. Run the ball, stop the run.
I agree.
So,
That's why I say if we make a run, it's going to be running the ball, and Gunner's going to have a lot of long ball TDs because it's going to open up that long ball TD.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're going to have
last question of the night.
To stop us.
I'm gonna sell with you. I'm gonna sell with you, not because I don't want Zach Branch to get 1,000 yards, but because I feel like there's some yards out there for Colby. There's some yards out there for Noah. There's some yards out there for a lot of our receivers that situationally are going to catch some balls that we need. And for Taylor, for our tight ends, I think there's yards out there for our tight ends who are incredibly deep this year. Which we're going to talk about. So that's the only reason I sell. I would love for Zach Branch to have 1,000 yards, but I don't know if it will get accomplished from a body of work on the offense, what we need to get accomplished to win the national championship. Last but not least, Ryan Grubb, obviously the big addition to Alabama, goes out and leaves Seattle, comes down and reunites with Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. Is the missing piece to Bama being a playoff contender, maybe even a national championship contender this year. Do you buy that or do you sell that? Do you think Ryan Grubb will be the missing piece? What do you think the missing piece was to Bama last year and this year in them vying for a national championship?
Well, I think he may be the missing piece, but I think it's going to take more than half a year to put the system in.
Yeah.
Fair
enough.
And that offense isn't, click your heels, Dorothy. We got the offense dialed in,
I agree.
I don't see that. And it takes a time for those players to get comfortable in an offense.
Right.
So I
agree. I don't think it's the main reason. I think this defense is going to be incredibly good this year for Alabama. I think if anything, the defense is going to be something that's going to take them where they go this year. I think if Ty Simpson can have a Mac Jones type year, and they can get the job done over there on that side, the defense is going to hold people to. You're going to have to score a lot of points on Bama. You're going to have to, it's going to be hard to score 17, 24 points on Bama. So I think if the offense can get 2 touchdowns and a field goal this year, they're going to do a good bit of work in a lot of big games for Alabama. So I I sell that as well, but I do think Ryan Grubb will make the offense better, and I think
Well, I
think
think so,
Kalen
too.
DeBoer has a ton of problems if he don't have Ryan Grubb this year, because this is going to be interesting because Keelan Russell's young, but he's a talent. But what I'm hearing is Ty Simpson is the guy at Alabama. So
Yeah, I would expect when they get that thing dialed in that they'll have a prolific offense, and if they can continue to hang on to the defense, Alabama's going to be a force.
Yeah. Rich Man, I have enjoyed really just hanging out around the SEC this last month and a half, and just kind of, I mean, we'll slide in there every once in a while to talk about the rest of the SEC, but it's good to look what's going on around us, kind of talk hype around us, and kind of get into the weeds, as I call it. But I'm gonna let you. Final question tonight. I'm ready next week to start us out with our preview, our roster preview. I got 3 positions ready. I think I know which one you're going to pick, but since Fish had to dip out a little early tonight, I'm going to allow you to pick it. What position group? So do we want to start at the line of scrimmage? Do we want to start on the defensive line of scrimmage, or do we want to start with the wide receiver group? Who you want to start with next week, so we can let everybody know how we're going to start our August and getting ready to preview for Kirby's 10th year at Georgia. Who you want to look at next week?
We need to start where it all starts, and that's with the line of scrimmage.
All right. So there you have it. Rich Man just chose it. So we will start with big news next week. Is we will preview the offensive line from UG. That'll be the chunk of the show. So tune in. We will break the entire 1, 2, and 3 depth chart, first, second, and third depth chart, and what we think we will see when we take the field against Marshall from our offensive line. And then we'll do some fun. We'll talk. We'll look at some other things around the SEC.
You need to snoop around and figure out, are they going to run duo like they've been running, or are they going to add something else? Because
we shall see. I'm going to pull everything I got from the offensive line. I'm gonna pull the interview from this new coach from Jacksonville. I'm going to pull some Stacy Searle stuff. We're going to look at. We'll start with the bad news. I mean, obviously, if you've been reading around, we got an arrest made on Jaw Jackson, which is not good. So that's in the play right now. Hope the best for him. Hope all this is just a big hoopla. But if he did it, and if he deserves to do what he's got to do. But we hope that it's nothing like that. But not a good start for the offensive line hearing about Jaw, because his name was popping up left and right as we talked about guys that were making a really big push in the spring. And so bad to hear that, but we'll start with the bad news next week, and we'll start looking at the offensive line, and we'll continue to do some fun stuff as we preview up to the start of football. But Rich Man, we're going to get out of here. Thank you everybody for joining. If you have not done so, make sure you go follow us on YouTube, trying to get to 1,000 followers. Find us on Dogs Down South on Facebook as well, and then TikTok, Dogs Down South, where you'll find tons of clips from this episode and many other. Go find us on Apple Podcasts 24 hours later. We have 61 episodes over there on Apple Podcasts as we sit here and speak. So you can go find us if you want to go catch this in your car riding to work tomorrow because you missed it or you only caught 5 minutes of it. Make sure you go find us over there. Go drop us a follow over there as well. And so that'll be it. Rich Man, enjoyed it, man. As always, got to talk a little Texas trash. It actually was Texas truth. But it's always good to kind of get the real truth out there. It was good Gunner, little Kirby NIL stuff, and to do a little buy or sell as we bring the SEC summer preview to a close. But till next week, for myself and my man Rich Man, thanks for joining, and you guys have a great week. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.